Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So, in today's video, let's look at the Greg's Reversed Fate. Now, Greg's was a weapon that was an absolute beast. Just as a quick example, let me show you how capable Greg's used to be. Greg's was, well, one of the best bossing weapons in the game by not a major landslide, but it was absolutely a capable weapon just for reference. Now, let me just show you this quick clip from one of my older videos about the Greg just absolutely cooking. So, this was a clip with Glay from a while back where I basically one-shotted or ratioed Greg alone in a 4-man lobby with Gluttony. I know that's not the most impressive thing ever, but bear in mind the game was at a different state in the time. So, even with that, you'll see here Greg and Glay absolutely melting Gluttony in a full 4-man squad completely solo. And if you look at the bombardment on there, you'll see something very significant. The bombardment is incredibly heavy. So if we look at that Greg, and now we look at this Greg, you notice something very, very big. The Greg on my top, my number 1 Greg is going to be my crit Greg, and these are the cores and substats that we're going with. Then the second Greg is going to be a multi-hit Greg, which was more aimed at Serena for Colossus, but I'm just using it on Glay because Serena boosts multi-hits drastically, so it does work out a tiny bit better on her. But for a base ground of test, using Glay is better. For the build, this is the build on the crit Greg, and then for the multi-hit Greg, this is what I'm using as well. Now, when it comes to bossing, at least, it's very, very odd. Just to explain this in an even easier way, for some reason, the passive on the Greg now is bombardment is now affected by multi-hit. So whenever you make it rain, that affects multi-hit or does multi-hit damage to the mobs, which isn't too bad. If a target is hit by bombardment multiple times, reduced damage is dealt. So for some reason, they decided to make bombardment have multi-hit in there while simultaneously tanking the damage. Okay, cool. How much did they tank the damage by? 10% maybe? No, fuck it. 50% on a max reduction. 50. That is half of your damage. And I think this is taking away from base firearm attack as well. So it does hurt quite a bit. And then we've got an enhanced bombardment, which would basically be your enhanced is about what this should be as a base. So it's silly. When it comes to stacking it on a boss, let me just give you a quick example. I'm going to show you 2 major things, and then I'm going to show you some mobbing. But let's have a look at Wallcrasher, for example. I'm going to use the crit Greg first, and I'm just going to stand still and look up and shoot at his knee. So if we do that, and now we just stand here, stand still, and we just shoot, not moving the mouse, not doing anything, just gonna let this play out with Glay. You can see my damage on the side is not too bad. I'm hitting a weak point. The bombardment is not proccing as much as it used to. You can see there, I hit 37.5 million damage. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. So let's spawn Wallcrasher in again so we get a fresh knee. And with this one, I'm going to do the exact same thing and then use it with the multi-hit Greg. With the multi-hit Greg, same story. But you can see just in general, it's going up faster. It's doing more DPS, right? So this is better in overall, right? So let's do that. Okay, boom. We even broke the knee. Holy W. 80 million with that Greg right there. What a goated Greg run. Okay? With the multi, when we stand still. Now, for some reason, when you move around, the results are different. It's very strange. So again, back to crit Greg. And now I'm going to move around whilst shooting his knee. And for some reason, the DPS we're going to get is going to be a varying / different result. Because it makes absolutely no bloody sense. So that was about the same with the crit one in that run. So that's fair. But I'm pretty sure the multi-hit one is not going to be the same as the 80 million we just got. When I've been testing this weapon has been nothing but inconsistent as shit. It's very odd. Like, just the DPS has been hella inconsistent whenever I've been trying to test everything. Oh, and now it's doing a ton of DPS. Excellent. I love this weapon. Okay, so even with this, again, we got less that time. We got 20 million less that time when you move around. So staying still and sniping with a multi-hit is the new call? No, because even when it comes to mobbing as well with this weapon, it still poses a weird trade-off. If I use the crit Greg over here and just shoot the mobs, you'll see crit Greg is absolutely cooked when it comes to actually dealing DPS to the mobs. If I just shoot through that first line of mobs over there, you can see the health on the other mobs even around is slightly reduced. Is it reduced by a drastic amount? Yeah. So this is kind of cooked. In terms of doing this again, doing this again but with multi, now you'll see that multi has the effect of bombardment stacking significantly faster. It'll proc bombardment faster, but because bombardment procs so fast, it reduces its overall damage. So what is the solution? How would you actually make Greg worthwhile? So from my understanding, you'd shoot one mob, proc bombardment, shoot in a completely another area, proc bombardment, and keep going that way and using Greg like this, which is so stupid. The biggest thing that you'd need to remember about this weapon though is, let me change the mob spawn down to 10 mobs and do it this way. Put them in a cube as well. So the way that Greg works specifically is like this now. If we use the crit Greg, I can show you first. With this, let's have a quick look. When bombardment procs, you'll see that it's just a little bit of damage there and it's done. With the multi-hit variation of Greg, you'll see with bombardment here is 1 second. Once it procs, it has lasting multi-hit damage as well. So bombardment does more because of multi. So multi is better, but stacking bombardment on one mob reduces the damage incredibly hard. Even with Wall Crasher, if we go back to running what I literally just ran again, the results are inconsistent. And bear in mind, this is with Glare. When it comes to Serena, we're in a whole different ball game. Serena allows for completely different results too, because she can boost the daylights out of multi. From my Serena experts, or from my homies that do play Serena, they have told me that overall she's significantly nerfed. With Serena, I think the best setup that was found was using a crit setup with one multi-hit chance mod, is what they were saying to me. So we got just shy of 30 million there. What are we going to get this time? So just in general, like, it's a very strange position to be in with this weapon. Consistently now, multi-hit seems to be a better option, I would say, but there is no consistency across anything. I cannot see any consistency. Sometimes when I was testing this, it would give one time it'd give tons more damage on the crit, and then other times it was giving more damage on the multi. Absolute clusterfuck. So in terms of everything, Greg's nerf is there. It is definitely a nerfed weapon. With Serena and the loop, with this prior, you were able to in fact hit, like, I believe it was just shy of 3 billion damage in a minute with Serena, with the rotations on the weapons and everything, which has kind of been reduced to, well, a lot less. With Serena, with this loop now, Perforator still absolutely dogs, but when it comes to Greg's is, well, oh wait, I'm using the glare thing on the Greg's. Oops, let me adjust the Greg's and do that again. With the Greg's though, the DPS just isn't as high as what it used to be. Multi overall reduces the damage because of bombardment stacking on the mob. So it is sad, but Greg's is an overall nerf to this weapon, which is cooked. As someone who used the Greg's religiously for the bossing meta back in the day, this does hurt me to see. Even with the Greg over here, it does do a lot of DPS still, but that is still a million times DPS less than what it was used to doing. I've also done the same thing on the dagger. I'm actually cooked. But overall, it's not as strong as what it used to be. And that is the truth that I will give you guys. It's sad to see what they've done, and it's definitely reduced the reason to invest in Greg. As a mobbing weapon, I wouldn't have used it anyways, but as a bossing weapon, it was kind of worth it, or it was at least the best option for Serena in her loop. Giving it a nerf overall is a strange decision, or I don't know what I need to smoke or what they are smoking over at Nexon HQ for this to be a good idea, but I need some of that. So, in conclusion, Greg is kind of worse. If you do want the optimal setup with Serena, I would say it comes down to this over here, and yeah, it's kind of cooked regardless. You would change, I think it was the this trigger over to just crit, so with insight, and then it should be fine. But yeah, I don't have a catalyst for that, and I'm kind of broke, saving up for Dire basically. Greg's is cooked, and yeah, not a good change in my honest opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much everything in today's video, guys, and I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, please just smash that like button, and if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!